Let's look at some variation word problems, translate them into some kind of equation, and solve for whatever it's asking us to solve for. So, as with any word problems, let's read what we are given. The dollar amount, D, that Megan earns varies directly with the number of hours H that she works. In her last paycheck, she earned $148.50, working 18 hours. If her next paycheck is $90.75, how many hours did she work? So in solving these problems, your first step is going to be identify your variation. And then you're going to need to find your K, set up your equation, and solve. Okay? So, identify our variation. It tells us, and all of these are going to tell us what kind of variation. This says directly. So, we're looking at y equals k times x. And this gives us a dollar amount D and H as our variables. I'm going to stick with X, Y, and X. So the D, the one that is varying, is Y, and the H is X. So in her last paycheck, so we know that she earned $148.50, and that was working 18 hours. So the Y, or the amount that she earned, is 148, and that equals k times 18, and we need to solve for k by dividing both sides by 18, and here is 825 is k. So this represents how much money she earns per hour. So I want to set up my equation, y equals 8.25x. So this is, I want you to make note of this. You're going to be asked to set up the equation, and this is the equation that we're asked for to set up. And then solve for what you want to find out. If her next paycheck is $90.75, so that's how much she's going to earn total, we want to know how many hours did she work. So that's x. So 825 times x. Now we need to solve for x. We're going to divide both sides by 825, and that's 11. So she worked, and I really should make you guys write these in sentences. She worked 11 hours to earn $90.75. Okay? All right, let's look at this next example. I'm not going to read it fully to you, but we want to identify the variation first. And our problem tells us that we're dealing with a joint. So interest, so the first one that varies jointly, that's going to be our y, with the principal and amount of time. So remember, our joint variation is y equals kxz. So that's why y is varying with the principal and time. So Tom opened the account 3 years ago. So we said time was z, so this is z, with $1,200, and he earned $144 in interest. So we want to know how much he's earned after 8 years after opening the account. So we have to find our K. So interest earned was $144 equals K times 1,200. That was opening principal times 3 years. All right. This is 144 equals K times 3,600. Divide that out on both sides to get K by itself. And K is 0.04 equals K. All right, let's rewrite our equation with our new k instead of all the variables. Okay, remember what I said when asked what your equation is, or to find the equation. This is the one we are talking about after you found k. We want to know how much interest would have been earned after 8 years. So 8 years after opening, so our x is still 1200 and our z this time is 8 years. So when I do that math, y equals 384. This is $384. This is how much interest was earned. This last example, Adam is driving to Disney World, and the time it takes varies inversely with his average rate of speed. So that first one is our y, that second one is our x. Inversely, remember our inverse variation is y equals k over x. So I'm going to actually put that over here, y equals k over x. All right, let's find our k. It takes Adam 10.8 hours, that's our time, that's our y, and our speed was 50 miles per hour. So plugging in that information, 50. Solving for k, right now it's being divided by 50, so I'm going to multiply it by 50. And when I do that, my k is 540. All right, set up my equation, rewrite it, 540 divided by x. How long would it take him at an average speed? So how long means time, we want to know y. With our speed, x is 60. So y equals 540 divided by 60. When I do that math, that is 9 hours. It will take him 9 hours to get there going that speed.